And how does the actual process work for channeling the angels?
Well, supposing you were coming for an angel channeling, you would either come to me in person, to where I work, or you might want to do it on the telephone, or you might want to Skype me, and you would have thought of a question, you'd have thought of a situation that you weren't happy with or that you wanted help with, and we would sit down together, whether we were remotely sitting down together or in reality, and I would simply ask that the angels speak to you through me. So I'd just say, okay, here's Siobhan, she has a question, can we do this? And usually I'll know if it's going to work. I'll get a feeling of sort of a positive, uplifting kind of feeling, so I know it's going to work. And then it normally takes about a minute before they start speaking.
So if somebody's coming along to have an angel channeling, is there any kind of preparation work that they can do beforehand that will kind of help them get into the state for whenever, just to make things easier when you actually start doing the session?
Well, what I've noticed is that people who practice a lot of meditation or who have a strong kind of spiritual connection tend to be easier to do than people who are very intellectual, very much, very, very busy in their minds, or very anxious and agitated. So, like, for instance, I've had some amazing experiences. Once I did a reading for Sinead O'Connor, and I could actually see stars around her head. And it's the only person I've ever seen, any kind of aura, because I'm not really clairvoyant at all. I don't normally see anything. I don't even see angels. But with her, it was just like, wow. It just felt amazing to do it for her. But then, and Shane as well, he's really connected to his own spiritual side and his own guides and angels. So he's very easy to read for, he's very easy to channel for.
And is it easier for you to read someone whenever it's done face-to-face as opposed to on the phone or on Skype or whatever?
Well, I don't know. I've actually had one of the nicest ones I've had, and the one where the woman felt that really pleased was actually on the telephone.
Okay.
So I don't think you have to be in the same room to have a good experience.
And can anyone channel angels, or is it something that you specifically are the only person that can do?
I'd love to say I'm the only person that can do it, because that would mean, that everyone has to come to me. But no, sadly. I really think that anyone can do it. But it's like if you ask me, can anybody play the piano? Some people practice more than others, and then they get really good. And it's not necessarily about talent, I think. It can actually be just that you practice. I've been practicing for quite a long time, so it becomes easier and more natural for me to do it. But that doesn't mean that, people who don't practice couldn't learn really quickly. And in fact, I had one woman who came to me for a reading, and then she said in the reading, I want to learn to do this, can you teach me? And I thought, well, I'm certainly happy to try. And then within one session, she was already doing it. She was like,
oh gosh.
She was obviously ready, willing and able.
So I book in for an angel channeling, and what happens? How does the process work?
Yeah. Well, you come, it's almost like you are now. You're sitting and you'll say to me, I have a question. And I'll go, okay, Siobhan, let's just close our eyes.
Yeah.
And we close our eyes. And then I'll ask them to speak to you. And pretty soon they'll start speaking to you, and they'll usually open by greeting you, saying, hello or greetings. That's one of their favourite words, is greetings. and I know it's them by that, because I would never, in my own personality, say greetings, Siobhan. So I know it's them speaking and not me.
And is it a duologue? Like, is it kind of, I ask my question and they take to the stage and they take to the floor and fill the air, or is it very much kind of a duologue process?
They know that there's always a conversation, so they'll always invite you to join in the conversation. They might actually ask you questions, and then you'll probably ask them questions at some point. And if they don't really understand what you're getting at, they'll get you to clarify it.
Is it one session per question, or how many sessions would you actually need in order to get to the bottom of something? Or
you could spend your entire life on one question, like, can I win the lottery? And it might never even happen. Or it might happen that your question gets answered really quickly, and then you have another one and another one. So it's a good idea to prepare a few just in case your question gets answered really quickly.
Yeah.
Because I actually can never predict how long a session, I mean, I allow an hour, but I can never predict how long it will take for them to answer your question. And I also can never predict what they're going to say.
You mentioned the state of kind of enlightenment and kind of the transformation process that you personally go under when you're channeling the angels. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I suppose the reason I think that everybody has an angel inside them, whether or not they have one floating around outside, is that I think we can all access an angelic state of being. And that state of being is the kind of state where you feel very much at one with everything and with everything that's happening. So you're not I suppose you're not frustrated by anything, you're not at odds with anything or with anyone. So you feel very compassionate towards the world, very benevolent. I suppose you feel as happy as it's possible to feel. So you're very, very joyful and very, very serene. And in those moments, and they might only be infrequent, I think you feel that the answers to every question you might have are actually inside you, and that you know all the answers and you don't have any questions, you're clear. So it's that state, and I think, like, when people meditate, they tend to experience that as a result of meditating. So it's like it being enlightened, but it might not last. I mean, and that is the state that I practice and practice and practice putting myself into for the length of the session. So that just takes, you just focus on being in that, and it's also a question of being in the present moment. So it's that's that state where you're totally here and you're not thinking about what's going to happen at the end of this session or what's going to happen next week or what did I forget at home today,
which is an incredibly difficult state of mind to actually get into, really.
Yeah, it's a totally clear mind.
Yeah. And if somebody was kind of sitting on the fence and wondering whether or not they should come and get an angel channeling, what would you say to them to try and convince them that this is the thing for them, or not?
Well, I've never wanted to convince anyone, because I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I think it's very important that the person feels that it's right for them. So I can only give them the information. This is what will happen, and this is me, and it's really up to you to decide.